We are live. We are live. We are live.
We are live. It is time.
I wasn't prepared for
It is time to spread the news.
big year. Big year for New York baseball.
Right through be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are marking to stay. Right through the very heart of it.
Gonna need
New
this
York,
for the
New York. If I can wake up in a city that doesn't sleep
We're gonna do the whole song.
and find I'm king of the hill,
Mhm.
top of the heap.
Mm-hmm.
These vagabond blues are melting away. I want to the new start of it in old New York.
This might
If
be the
I
opening to the podcast.
make it there, I'll make it. Anywhere, it's up to you. New York, New York.
Great work, Todd.
I can.
Great work.
move on.
I'm super glad we got that out of the way.
If you want to play Piano Man or Back in the New York Groove,
or
go
this,
for it.
I don't know if you'll hear it, but we'll see if it works.
Or meet the Mets.
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have.
You know what sucks? I can't even.
I genuinely mean this. I would love a Subway Series this year. Would love.
Oh yeah, me too. I just, as much as, and we'll jump right into this first topic here, which is Francisco Lindor. I was trying to just get happy, right? And I'm happy about opening day. I'm excited for baseball. I'm excited for the Mets.
It's
the Lindor situation.
This is New Year's Day for me.
Yeah, the Lindor situation doesn't. It would be New Year's Eve, not New Year's Day. But
well, today is New Year's Eve.
The Lindor situation doesn't bother me for this coming year. Still super pumped. It's just bothersome. I know at some capacity they will get this deal done, because there's not many teams that are offering $300 million for anybody right now, let alone a shortstop. So
I can't think of a team that would. The only thing I could think of is if Seager leaves the Dodgers next year, this offseason. Yeah. That's the only situation I can think of.
And you're telling me, I know he has an opening day deadline. Opening day, that's it. But you're telling me if in June the Mets offer him $400 million, he's saying no? I don't think so.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get a breaking news tonight live on the pod.
Because I just don't get it. So they're 10 years at the same dollar amount, 10 years or 12 years. So Lindor wants 12, Mets want 10. I don't understand how it's that far apart not to get that deal done. It seems if it's the same per year, we're talking about 2 years on the back end. Clearly, he wants to be a Met if he wants to be here for 12 years. I just still don't see how it doesn't get done by tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I don't see how that was a big enough gap to just say, no, we're going to hold off talks. I can't see it.
I feel like in a way, these two, the Mets, they need each other. They both need each other.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else. I mean, he doesn't fit Yankees. They're not going to pay him. I can't see a situation where the Blue Jays somehow come up with $300 million. That's another team that he could maybe fit on.
Could see
Do the Red Sox come back next offseason and make a big splash?
Yep.
Maybe.
But then what are you doing with Bogarts?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just
The list is
I-
the usual players, and none of them need a shortstop right now.
And I think he knows deep down, with his energy, his personality, he needs New York almost more than New York the Mets need him. Like, he's just perfect for New York. He's perfect for the Mets. He will be the number one guy here. Again, if we're talking about the Mets were at 8 years, 190 million, and he was at 300 million over 12, that's a big difference. But 2 years at the same dollar amount is just really close.
I forget who said it, that with there being the Mets willing to offer 325 million to somebody is progress in itself.
Yeah.
That tells you that somebody is going to get that money.
Somebody's getting that money.
Whether it's Lindor or they go and get, I don't even know who off the top of my head right now.
I mean, if you missed out, you just spend that money somewhere else, like you said. I mean, the money's there.
Right.
And I don't think, and you're telling me if you go into the offseason, barring the Mets for some reason being pissed off and insulted, you're telling me
that could
you
be
go.
DeGrom's money. Who knows?
True, but I would like to think if you're offering this on a 12-year deal, you have money allotted to DeGrom. I would like to assume that.
I would think there's a DeGrom fund somewhere in the Mets bank.
I would venture to guess we will see a DeGrom extension before the end of this season, if I had to venture a guess.
They have to. And we know pre-Stevie Cohen, everyone was thinking trade, obviously, for DeGrom. That at some point when the deal was run low, Mets would trade him and get pennies on the dollar, and it would be LOL Mets, same old Mets. But with Stevie Cohen in the mix, obviously that changes things, and you would expect him to sign a long-term deal. And the Knicks are only up 4 with 2 minutes left.
I was going to say that before because they were up a lot.
Yes, they were.
I was going to say something, but I didn't say it because it was the beginning of the episode and you were singing. But
I was happy.
But it's just if we get to free agency and we have to sign him there, I still don't think anybody tops the dollar amount we've already sent out. And at that point, you still get a deal done. So I'm not too stressed. It does put a little bummer on opening day because just a touch, the tiniest bit of bummer. I'm still super excited. I got my hot dogs, my fries. I'm ready for tomorrow. But there is that touch where it's like, I'm going to watch Lindor play, and I know every time. What happened?
What's the reception going to be like for Lindor? And it's
it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. I do think every Met fan, well, it depends. Like, the average Met fan probably doesn't even process it. Like, the majority of they're just like, oh, this guy's a superstar. But for me, it's like every time I see him hit a ball, it will pop in my head. I know it will. So I'm happy. I'm excited. But I would love that deal to get done by tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And there's a part of me that's like, what if the Mets and Lindor both have a deal done and they're just waiting to do it right before the game? Because technically, we don't start till 7 o'clock. So there's still 21 hours before.
Right. You have all day.
Yeah. Because I think we're ESPN game tomorrow, which I hate, but it also might be on SNY. I'm not sure. It should be on both. I hate the ESPN announcers because it's A-Rod tomorrow.
I mean, Stevie would call Lindor's bluff, I feel like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that too. I think Stevie's like, listen, we're offering 10 years at 300.
Yeah, he's a baller. Like,
but we're offering you 10 years, 300 million right now. Like, if you don't want to take it, fine. This money may never be there for you again. So,
especially with the uncertainty next year with the collective bargaining agreement,
or what if he gets hurt?
Change a lot.
Or what if he gets hurt?
There's always the what if. Right.
Like, you rarely look at 300. Like, his last offer he got from a major league team was the Indians last year, and I think it was like 150 million. It wasn't even close. So you're not going to see this money often. You better do it. This Knicks game is getting crazy. Today we had a great show for you on the eve of Major League Baseball. We will finish our MLB preview with the AL East, and we will give you our final predictions, meaning World Series, Championship Series, MVP.
Yes.
and we will give you the betting tips for opening day tomorrow. We will fulfill our cards for opening day and give you some tips, give you some lines, and we'll get it going there. But let's finish some stuff, some odds and ends that we've been working on, and that is the preview. So today we have the AL East,
Oh
and
my God.
that is Todd's division as the Timberwolves take a 1-point lead. It is the New York Yankees division, and as always, we start with one team. We give you our prediction on the over/under, where they're going to finish, their projected record. And I think it's obvious we're starting with the Orioles in the AL East. I don't think that's even a discussion, right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in the scheme of AL East teams, or in the scheme of bad teams, are they the worst team in baseball? No,
No.
they're pretty bad.
They're on the bad.
Are they second worst, third worst? We did this last week where we ranked, or 2 weeks ago, where we ranked kind of the bottom tier teams. They're not as bad as the Pirates.
Nope.
I think they're worse than the Tigers.
Mhm.
And are they worse than the Rockies? Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because the Rockies
Who else
still have
are
Trevor
worse?
Story and Herman Marquez and
Right,
Blackman.
which might not be
I
for
would
long.
I would say the Orioles and the Pirates are on their own little island, with the Pirates being somehow marginally worse than the Orioles.
I mean, their rotation is kind of all or nothing with Matt Harvey. Felix Hernandez is on
John
a minor
Means.
league deal. John
No,
Means went in decent positions in fantasy drafts. I know he was someone I was almost close to taking at the back in my fantasy draft, and I stayed off.
Well, he'll get
Dean
the innings.
Kimmer has
Yeah.
some pop. But I mean, they're ways away.
Yeah, they have some
Significant ways away.
young pieces which are number one picks, which were Adley Rushman, and last year was what is that outfielder's name they brought in?
What just happened?
Heston Kirsted. I think they drafted number one last year as their outfielder. So they're growing. They're still ways away, but at least they have. If you're an Oriole fan, at least you have a direction. This is, what, guys? We're gonna pause for a second. We are gonna live watch this last second of the Knicks game because time cannot concentrate. Randall, I'm gonna announce it. Misses a rebound by Towns. They get to steal in 5 seconds. They get a jump ball here.
Taj is hurt.
Towns and looks like Towns got on that jump ball.
I'm gonna be in a bad mood if we lose this game. But it's okay.
By the way, guys,
the Yankees. This is what happens in general for sports in New York. Except, of course, the Nets are good this year. Usually what happens, and hockey, Rangers are okay. Devils are kind of creeping back. Generally what happens is the Yankees come in just as the winter sports teams are finally putting the nail in their own coffin, and it's time where it becomes the time where it's better for your health to not pay attention to them and pay attention to April baseball, which is kind of, there's no pressure in April baseball. Although the Yankees, as we know, have started slowly in April's past. So there are, of course, a lot of eyes on them from that perspective, but it's generally lower pressure than at least in our heads. It's more pressure because the Yankees are expected to do more, but we're expecting more out of the Knicks and the Devils and the Rangers and the Islanders at this time of year than we are for the Mets and the Yankees.
2 notes, by the way. First note, I don't know how that's a jump ball. I feel like the Timberwolves fouled him on the ground before he got it. And also, I believe Pablo Prigioni is on the Timberwolves coaching staff. I was
going to say coaching staff because he's not on the team.
Playing. Yeah, no.
I was gonna check you on that.
Did they not give? Oh, it wasn't a jump ball. It was a foul. I swore they called jump ball.
I don't like this at all. This ball's like going to go to Alfred.
No,
Oh
it's
my
going to
God,
Barrett.
RJ.
Going to Barrett.
No,
Going to Barrett.
no, I don't like that.
Nope. Wow. Pain. That is pain.
What's
Wait.
happening?
I don't know what's happening. Everyone's looking around. Looks like they're arguing. Yeah, they are arguing.
They're
Gosh.
reviewing? What are they reviewing?
I don't. Oh. Did Town slap his arm? I can't even see from that angle.
Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
look. And also, why did Ricky Rubio even shoot that ball? Oh, just throw it down the court. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's over. I thought he got him on the arm here.
Oh.
I can't really tell. It's close. That's what he's saying. Unless they were saying there's a foul
Who
underneath.
would you equate RJ Barrett to in New York baseball right now? Let's play that game. Oh, now wait. Now it's saying final. We obviously don't have the sound on. At least I don't, because
yeah, I think the
recording
game's.
this.
I think the game's over. I don't have the sound on either. I think the game's over. Yeah, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. That's the game. I can't believe they just blew that.
Where's the remote?
You got to change it. You got to change to get your mind.
Yeah. Hold on. Pause. Well, I'm still here, but I have to. Yeah.
It's in baseball on MLB Tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna put on the Yes Network.
There you go.
We're gonna forget that ever happened.
I wouldn't put the Yes Network on. The Yes Network is the
Oh, right.
Just put MLB Network.
What channel's MLB Network?
Just put it on.
Hold on.
You good? We will get back to the podcast in a second. I
MLB
promise.
Tonight.
Big day.
Let's go.
Okay. We're live. We're back.
Let's go.
So yeah, we were talking about the Orioles.
Just like a quick blurb. Just to like reset here.
Get his mind right.
Okay. We're okay. Everything's fine.
Quick shout out.
Let's do a shout out right now.
No free plugs. But this beer tonight, guys, this
What are your free plugs?
Fractal Strata by Equilibrium. Maybe I'll take this clip and send it to them, get a sponsor. It is an IPA. It is phenomenal. Equilibrium Brewing in New Jersey. I believe it's in Jersey. No, sorry. It's in Middletown, New York.
Let's go.
Middletown,
hey, 845.
Middletown, New York.
I know
Equilibrium. Yeah. Great beer. Fantastic taste.
I'm an Ulster County kid, so I know Orange County. 845 represent. Shout out to the 845.
Shout out to the 845. Shout out Saturdays for the boys. Shout out Barstool.
So, semi-related to the AL East and the 845, I'll give a plug here. Not really a plug because they don't need a sponsorship. I'm not looking for a sponsorship. Renegades baseball is coming up. Single A affiliate of the Yankees now. Previously a low A affiliate of the Rays.
Is Dominguez there or is he double A?
I did not see Dominguez there. I looked at the roster last night and what is that guy's name? Well, I know his name, but I'm blanking on it.
Pereza? Oswaldo Pereza?
Yeah, Oswaldo Pereza. He's considered the Yankee shortstop of the future. He's 21, and he will be playing at least to start the season in high A. Well, I would not be surprised to see him go up a level at some point.
I would like to think that players that they like will play in that high A in Hudson Valley more than expected because of the location, and it's just more accessible.
The double A team is in Somerset. That's not too far either.
And the triple A is in
Scranton.
So
that's what the minor league realignment was about.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping teams closer to their home squad.
And you could see a lot of guys if they go on the DL you could see them do the rehabs at Hudson Valley too.
That's the thing. It's an easy trip up the Metro North.
Yep. Okay, so back to the Orioles.
Back. We're bringing it back. We've come full circle
we
here.
kind of went over it before. Not good. They had a future. If you're an Orioles fan, you at least have to look ahead and say, we have 2 number 1 picks. We're building something. At least you know you're not going to be good, but you can look at the young pieces on the team.
Mountcastle is a top-ranked prospect, I believe, even though he's not really a prospect anymore. Isn't it Mountcastle?
No, it has to be Rutschman, Adley Rutschman.
I thought Mountcastle was up there too.
He might be high, but it's got to be Adley Rutschman. Adley Rutschman was number 1 pick last year, and he's a good star. I mean, I could. Yeah, he's number 1. He's number 1.
Yeah, he's Adley, not there yet.
Ryan Mountcastle's 5.
Yeah.
Rutschman is expected to make it to.
He's 24. At what age do we stop considering people prospects?
This is probably about it. I mean, he was on the MLB roster last year, so
yeah,
he's probably. Oh yeah, they have it right here. Yeah, he's probably on his last leg. 6'4", 230. That's a nice frame. But yeah, Adley Rutschman.
Pedro Severino had runs last year on my fantasy team. He was my go-to catcher for a while. Austin Hayes is an interesting guy too. Has some pop.
They have some
Obviously, Trey Mancini. I wouldn't be surprised to see Trey Mancini get traded at some point to a contender. He's a nice bat to have.
Shout out Trey Mancini.
Yeah, yeah. He's gone through a lot, obviously, with the cancer diagnosis. He was out all of last year. Even before COVID became a real thing, he was going to be out. So,
correct. Also,
I just don't see it coming together.
For the record, Rutschman is the number 2 prospect in all of baseball, right behind Wander Franco.
They have good things coming down the pipe, but one of the problems is the division there, of course.
Yeah. Also, to wrap up them, Orioles, they're over under 63.5. I think that's still super low. I think that's mind-boggling low, hard to do, but I still think they can do it. I'll say under. I'll say 60 and 102.
Yeah, I want to go just under. I'm going to say 63 and 99.
63 and 99. So we're both under, and we both have them 5th place. Pretty simple. The next team could get dicey.
I really don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm torn. Like, my top 2 teams I could say right now is going to be the Yankees and the Rays. I'm not going to spoil the order, but Yankees and Rays. The Blue Jays and Sox are weird because I don't really believe in the Blue Jays. I think we're giving them way too much shine too soon. Their bullpen is terrible, and they just lost Yates for the year to Tommy John.
They're still young. They're still young.
Dude, that I was looking yesterday at it because I saw that Yates went down for the year. Their bullpen is maybe the worst bullpen in baseball, and it's not even close.
The Red Sox pitching staff is hellacious. It's disgusting.
But that was their downfall last year, and this year they get Eduardo Rodriguez back. They'll have Sale in July. So not to say that means they're a playoff team, but that does mean that if they were to hover around 500, it would make sense.
Which I think might be 4th place in this division.
I'm personally gonna say Blue Jays at 4, but you could do whatever you would like.
I think the Blue Jays, just talent-wise, are going to be a little. They're ahead of the Red Sox. Pitching-wise, up top, Blue Jays have guys like Ryu. There's nobody on the Red Sox pitching staff that does anything. We're also relying on Christian Vasquez to be a full-time starter as a catcher. I think that's ridiculous. They do have some interesting guys in the middle of that infield. Bobby Dahlbeck has had a lot of pop, been one of the top guys in spring training. Obviously, Rafael Devers, who I'll never forget for the game in August where he hit that bomb off Chapman.
So
Bogarts, I have his rookie card.
We'll talk about the Red Sox while we're here. Then we'll go into the Red Sox, but their hitting is not going to be the problem.
No,
And
they're going to throw
Vasquez again,
5 runs a game, and they're going to give up 6.
I think the X factor is what are you getting from Eduardo Rodriguez, another guy who came back from serious medical stuff, and Chris
Which
Sale.
he's
What are
still
you
dealing with on and off.
correct? But what are you going to get from those two? If those two come back and they're anything like they've been before, I think this is a much different team. Again, not a playoff team, but I think they're better than the Blue Jays at that point because their bats are better than the Blue Jays.
But if you're not in contention and you're planning to contend next year, because I think
True.
next year, my prediction is that next offseason, depending on the CBA, we will see the Red Sox go on a spending spree. The Red Sox will be back in 2022. I have no doubt in my mind about that. I just think it's even possible that if they're bad again this year, that they might just shut down Chris Sale.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
all right. So while we're
don't
here,
waste the bullets in his arm and save it for when you're really trying to contend.
we'll kind of do a mixed bag here of Blue Jays, Red Sox. They're kind of in that same thing. Want to just for a point here, the Blue Jays bullpen. I'm going to run down this bullpen for you. So there's no more Kirby Yates. Their closer is slated to be Rafael Delis. The rest of the bullpen is David Phelps.
Wait, isn't Kirby Yates still on the team? I thought he just
he's out.
Him.
No, they signed him, but he's out for the year. Tommy John.
Oh, I did not know that.
Their bullpen is David Phelps, Tyler Chatwood, Ryan Baruki, and Jordan Romano. Those are the top names in that bullpen.
Romano is supposed to be the closer, I believe.
Okay, but I mean, still, that bullpen is
right,
hideous. And their number 3 starter is going to be Steven Matz.
Right, I was just about to say that. That's a little, although that could be high risk, high reward.
I mean, it could be, but I was
same with Robbie Ray. They're pitching. I mean, name wise, when you look at this list, Ryu, even Tanner Roark isn't bad. Robbie Ray,
I also like
Nate Pearson is a top prospect.
The monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got that bullpen.
There are bones here.
Yeah.
But they're very, very, very young.
So for comparison here, Blue Jays over under is 86. Red Sox over under is 79.5.
So
Red Sox makes sense to me. I think the Blue Jays number is super high.
I will go slightly over on the Red Sox. I think I might actually just go right over. I'll go 80 and 82.
Yeah, I have them over, but slightly at 81 and 81.
And I think
they're 500 ball.
Blue Jays, I might go right on the button there, 86 and 76.
Wow.
I think they have talent. I mean, not I think. It's a fact that they have talent. I just don't see how I'm a little bit I'm not ready to put full trust into teams that had a lot of success last year that aren't your normal teams that have success.
So you still peg that as an 86 win team? You have 4 teams nearly over 80.
Yeah. I think this division will beat up on a lot of the other divisions.
Fair enough. I'm going to say lower. I'm going to say even lower. I think they finished 4th. So I'm going to say close.
And I bet my number on the Rays is going to be lower than yours.
Maybe. I'll say 79 and 83 for the Blue Jays. I don't think they're there yet. I think they're still missing a lot. I actually may personally bet on that under. I think they're missing a lot. So they're not there yet. They're going to be good.
Should bet on wins futures tonight, actually.
Yeah, we can throw a few of those in. We'll jump
we don't
on the
have
next
to go
team.
through on here. I just might do my own research tonight and
okay.
throw out some.
Yeah.
Maybe while I'm drinking an Equilibrium beer.
Wow. Shout out Equilibrium.
I might take a
No.
ride there this weekend. Who knows?
There you
Pick
go.
some stuff up.
Number 2 is obviously Tampa.
Yeah.
Their number is 86, equal to the Blue Jays, which to me is a little weird.
I mean,
A little weird.
you lost Blake Snell.
But they brought in pitchers, and they have Glass now. They have
You lost
prospects.
Charlie Morton.
I mean, but okay, I'm gonna go through.
And you replaced it with Michael Wacha and Rich Hill. I mean, and over the hill, Chris Archer.
But what they're replacing with too is their prospects. You have 3 top pitchers. You have Luis Patino, who they got in the Snell deal. You have Brendan
They're not
McKay.
major league ready.
I mean, Patino's expected is 2021, so this year. Brendan McKay is expected 2021 this year. I think he's actually made the roster. And Shane McClanahan.
Brendan McKay was on the Renegades at one point.
No, can't be. He was drafted by the Rays.
Right, yeah. They used to be the Rays.
Oh, they had the Renegades? I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a monster. He was the guy that did both. He played first base too because he can hit. Yeah, so I think the Rays replaced it in the best Rays way possible. I don't think they're a division-winning team. I actually still may have them under that 86, to be honest.
They're another team that, while yes, the Rays, we know what they're capable of just in terms of the quote-unquote nerds behind the scenes there. We know that they're able to, they find these weird statistics in certain guys and know how to maximize that piece of their talent to get what they need in particular situations to win baseball games. They're not a team that's about the stars. They're about the system. Kind of almost like the Patriots in a way, but not quite to that level, obviously. So I never think a team, and we've seen this over the past 15 years now, the Rays are never a team that's out of it, but they're also never a team that's fully in it. I mean, you're relying on a lot of guys here who were also flash in the pan a little bit. Not that I don't believe in them, but is a Randy Arozarena, who had a great playoffs, one of the all-time great postseason performances, is he going to be able to produce long-term? You're relying on Willie Adames, who's a prospect at this point, although he is going to turn 26 in September. So he's actually older than our boy Gleyber Torres. And pitching-wise, they're going to be doing a lot of mixing and matching, and their bullpen was lights out last year. I don't know if that's going to happen again. So
I think we're waiting. We also have you're waiting to see what's going to happen with Wander Franco, who's going to come up. And Wander Franco is a superstar. I mean, he's Tatis level. He's
right.
that kind of prospect. So what does he do to this team? Now, I kind of side with you of how you feel. I actually have them under that 86. I think the Yankees beat the shit out of this division personally.
I'm gonna go a smidge. I'm gonna go a smidge over. I will take 87.
I'm going
88. We'll go 88.
88 and 74. I had them at 84 and 78. I think they're slightly under.
Wow, you're really banking on the Yankees just destroying everybody in this division.
I don't think this division outside of the Yankees. I think there's teams that are competitive, but I still don't see a reason why the Yankees won't take 2 out of 3 from all these teams consistently. Like every now and then, of course, you're going to get that one series, but consistently, I don't see a reason why the Yankees can't take 2 out of 3 from every one of these teams. I think every one of these teams has a flaw. The Rays, well, they lost these pitchers. Can they build that back up? The Blue Jays, bullpen, and they're young. The Red Sox, bullpen, starting rotation, and inconsistencies, and the Orioles are the Orioles. So
Yankee starting rotation is full of flaws.
But it's the Yankees' flaws are still much more manageable than any of these teams' flaws in the division. And it's not close. Like, you look at any other division, let's just talk about, go back to any of the divisions. Go back to the AL East. You could say the Braves' flaws, okay, well, the Mets, or NL East, sorry. The Mets, if they do this right, they could jump the Braves because of that flaw. There's nothing in the Yankees' flaws that makes me feel like the Rays can jump them, personally.
Right. The only
'cause the
team in
Rays-
my book that can ever compete with the Yankees in this division is the Red
Yeah.
Sox, and I think we'll see that come back next year.
Well, because the Rays had a magical run last year, and
Yeah.
to my opinion, if it was a full season, Yankees win that division. That's still my opinion. So,
Yeah.
So I can't go against them. With that being said, Yankees over under is 95.5. You already know I'm going to go over that. I think they win 100 games.
I'm going to go. So we can talk about the Yankees a little bit. Obviously,
Yeah.
their pitching rotation is kind of in flux a little bit. I've heard rumblings that they're going to start with a 6-man rotation to start the season. So they're going to have Devi ready to go, Devi to God ready to go at the start of the season to kind of make spot starts here and there. There was a health scare. Well, it wasn't really a scare, but everyone was speculating last week about the Aaron Judge situation, saying he was a little under the weather. People were wondering if it was COVID related or if this was a cover up. People were expecting him to be like the Yankees to come out and be like he has no ankle, his career is over, and he's still here. Obviously, the injury bug is something that always goes around the Yankees, and I don't know why that's a thing. Luke Voigt's out for a few months here. It sounds like June he might be back. So we'll see what happens there. And Bob, God damn it.
Is
And
Judge?
I
Sorry.
think
So Judge
the Yankees are going to play they're going to do the same thing that the Nets are doing right now, where they know they're so much better than everyone else in their division that I don't think they're going to win 100 games just because I don't think they're going to put their foot on the gas on all 162 games. I'm going to say they go 97-65.
Okay.
They still win this division by 10 games, but they're not going to be, unless they think they can break records. If they're, 50 games in and they're 38-12, then they might continue to put their foot on the gas if they think they can compete with the best teams of all time. But I don't see that happening. So,
yeah,
generally, how this division plays out is everyone's kind of bunched up together for the first month or so, and then everything settles after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna, as you just heard me talk, I'm all in on the Yankees. I think they are, and we'll talk later about more about them. But I'm gonna say 162. I think this is the year. We've always seen them have this dominant team over the last 5 years, and they've kind of had that moment where, all right, they win 95 games. Okay, they win 96 games. They miss out because of this, right? So the
Yankees don't care about the regular season. They don't.
But and I think yes, but also they've had some serious stuff happen over each of the last, let's say, 5 years, whether it be injuries, whether it be cold stretches.
Some of that, I think also, yes, there were injuries, but I think the time frame that people were set to come back would have been shorter if it was a team that was in dire need and
maybe
relying on a certain guy to push them towards the playoffs. In these instances, the Yankees could trot out their second tier outfield and still be the best team in this division.
Listen, I also think that over the last 5 years, there's been a tougher American League. You've had the Indians, the Twins. The AL East has been a little tougher when you talk about the Red Sox.
They're all down.
That's what I'm saying. So I just think this is the year. I think the year that the Yankees. I'm not going to say anything about World Series. Yeah, we'll get to that later. I think this is the year, at least regular season. I think they just purely dominated. I'm going to say 162. I'll say first place. And I don't think it's very close, to be completely honest with you. I think they could do what the Dodgers have done in the past divisions, where they win that division by 10 games.
I mean, they've
Both
won.
winning.
Yeah, they've won 100 games before in a season.
Yeah,
But but that was more so because they had to compete with the Red Sox.
Red Sox. Yeah,
And
I
this
think they
year,
could do it.
I just don't see that happening.
I just think they do it voluntarily this year. Well, let's stay in the AL East for our divisional predictions when it comes to players. Who do you think is the AL East MVP?
I'm gonna go out on a. It's not a limb here. It's hardly a limb, but in terms of the guys you would think, I'm gonna say it's Gleyber Torres.
Huh? I don't hate
I
it.
think he has a monster year. I think it could be like
I
a
agree.
37 homer. He bats
Yeah.
like 278 with 37 homers and like 110 RBIs, that kind of thing.
I agree.
Solidifies himself as a middle of the order hitter, which is rare for a middle infielder. And I think DJ will still be good. I don't think he's going to be this all world top 5 player this year, but things will balance out within that roster.
Yeah, I don't hate the Torres choice. I'm gonna say Garrett Cole. I think he's MVP and Cy Young to me. I think he has one of those nutty years like he can. Um, I think him and DeGrom take over each one of their teams personally, and I think Garrett Cole just has a absolute monster year. So I'll take Garrett Cole for both MVP and Cy Young. You could say, or Cy Young.
I mean, it's Garrett Cole. I don't know who else it could possibly be in this division. I mean, you could say if you're trying to find someone on another team that you want to call Cy Young in this division, maybe Ryu has a lights out year again, but otherwise, no.
I don't think it's there. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I think you would have more of a leg to stand on if you tried to go weird with one of the other Yankees pitchers rather than any of those in the division. You know what I mean? Like a Severino or a Kluber. Like if you try to get cute with it there, I think you have a better shot there than anybody else in the division, personally. So yeah,
I
Garrett
don't
Cole's.
I don't buy the Kluber situation here. I think personally it was a mistake to choose him. Well, I won't call it a mistake because we don't know. But it may have been a mistake to choose him over Tanaka. I don't really see what the logic was behind that, money-wise.
But from what I've heard, and maybe things change if the offer is there, from what I've heard, Tanaka was pretty gung-ho on going back regardless.
Yeah.
So who knows if they were like, all right, he's not coming back. We need to make a move.
Right, because of the kind of the cultural situation going on in the U.S. There were reports, or not reports. He mentioned that members of his family had been targeted by attacks, and obviously that's disgusting. And if he feels the need to go home and be more comfortable, and in a situation like that, then maybe the Yankees were onto that and made alternative plans because of that.
Yeah, I think that's more of the possibility, more of the case, in my opinion. So yeah, Garrett Cole, everything. Yankees, this is their division. And we'll bridge that into our full MLB preview, the final cusp of what's left. We're going to go over the MVP for each league, Cy Young for each league, Manager of the Year for each league, which really just relates to the best team in each league. And then we will go give you our ALCS, NLCS predictions, and then, of course, our World Series predictions. So let's go first. Do you want to do awards first awards first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with the Manager of the Year. For AL, NL, I'll start with the AL. We'll do that first.
You want me to start?
I can start if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, we'll start it up here. I think when you really break down the teams that have an opportunity to take over the American League, you're talking Tony La Russa because of the White Sox, not because of him, but because of the White Sox. Dusty Baker in Houston could be a fun name if they go off. I'm not gonna get cute with it. I'm just gonna say it's Aaron Boone. I think he will get it if they win that many games. So if I'm predicting him to win 100 games, I think I'm also predicting him to win Manager of the Year. So I'll take Boone.
Yeah, I think we're going to be pretty similar across the board here. I'm thinking of who it could possibly be. I mean, maybe if the Twins go off, that could be a situation. Otherwise, I don't see. Or say a team like the Royals, maybe the Royals have like they win 86 games somehow. Like something crazy like that happens.
Yeah,
and then
team.
You make a case for them. Or the Blue Jays win 93 games, stuff like that. But I think this is going to play out pretty close to chalk here. And yeah, Aaron Boone. I don't see how it could be anyone else.
Yeah, I don't. I agree. So we'll just move through. We will go to the National League, and I can start up too. Part of me goes Dave Roberts is the easy choice. Part of me goes the Braves, Brian Snitker. I'm gonna go a little left field here. I'm gonna go with the St. Louis Cardinals and Mike Schilt. I think if the Cardinals do what I think they could do in that division, I like what Mike Schilt does. Mike Schilt's a hell of a coach. Basically takes over every long line of St. Louis Cardinals coaches, just kind of works. I'll take Mike Schilt with the Cardinals to win it.
I think it's Snitker. I think Braves could. I don't understand how the Braves are being as underrated as they are. I really think they are a World Series contending team. I think there are obviously the NL is very deep, much deeper than the AL. There's probably there are 6 to 8 teams that if you told me they went on a run and they won the NL pennant, I wouldn't be surprised. Like there are teams that were projecting to win like 84 games that you could tell me they end up winning 92 games and then they win the NL pennant. Wouldn't be surprised. A candidate I think of like that is the Nationals if they went on some
Phillies.
sort of run. The Phillies, the Brewers. Although Brewers I think is a real long shot. I wouldn't go there. I'll say Snitker. I think the Braves could win 102 games, something like that.
Yeah.
I really think they could go off. I don't recall what exactly I predicted for them, but
you had them. I listen. I have the receipts.
The stats.
You had them at 96 wins.
Okay. Well, if they went
I had them. I was the one that went nuts. I had 103 wins. I remember I said that, and I think you yelled at me. But I do like the Brian Snitker choice. I think that was, to me, that was more of the chalk answer, personally. So
it'll probably be Dave Roberts because they'll win 112 games.
I don't think they do it again, right? It's rare that they get back-to-back in baseball. It's in any sport, really. I mean, if you look at Bill Belichick, he's won 2 Coaches of the Years ever.
Well, that's because they're expected.
Dominated for 2 decades. But that's my point. Like,
they're automatic 12 wins every year.
But has Dave Roberts hit that point with that? Has Dave Roberts hit that point with that roster, though? That's kind of my point.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever.
It's like LeBron with MVPs. You could give LeBron James the MVP every single year that he's been active, but you're just not.
That's kind of the territory we're getting with DeGrom at this point.
Yeah, close to it.
That was a good bridge there. Next award, Cy Young. AL and I will start. We'll go easy first. I think actually both might be easy, but We'll go easy first. We'll go American League, and I'll say Garrett Cole. I don't think it's either him or Bieber, unless somebody shoots up out of nowhere. The one that I actually like is a sneaky. If you're into gambling as a long shot kind of prop bet, if they can run the table well, Lance McCullers in Houston. I think he has the stuff. I think he has the stuff. I think he's the kind of guy, long shot. If you're taking a long shot bet, I think a Cy Young in the American League is a good option because of they're so top heavy with Cole and Bieber that anybody at that next tier could be good value. But I'm gonna say Garrett Cole. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'll say Garrett Cole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's another choice. I think it's Garrett Cole, and there isn't much left. There isn't much to say about that.
We just kind of talked about him.
Yeah,
simple. National League. For me, like I said, it's chalk to me. You could just say you could say DeGrom every year, and I want to say DeGrom. And for the record, I could say this on the record. I think DeGrom is the best pitcher in the NL, but I'm gonna be a little different with it just for the sake of what we're doing here. I've talked about him before. I think I like his stuff. I think he could take that huge next step this year. I'm gonna say Walker Buehler. I think he could be that sneaky NL Cy Young. I think I love his stuff. I think this is the year he takes that next step into a superstardom and basically takes over that rotation. So I'm gonna say Walker Buehler.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be DeGrom. I don't see how it couldn't be. But if I was going outside of DeGrom, because the pitching in the NL is very deep, I would say Jack Flaherty has a shot. You could even go Scherzer again,
Kershaw.
Blake Snell, Yu Darvish. I mean, you could go down the list, obviously. I don't know why Trevor Bauer is plus 700. I don't know why he has second best odds. I could go on and on and on about why that is ridiculous. You're telling me he has better odds than Max Scherzer, Walker Buehler, Yu Darvish, Jack Flaherty, Blake Snell, Luis Castillo, Strasburg, Max Fried, Clayton Kershaw.
Luis Castillo is one that could be sneaky.
Clayton at plus 2,500 is
that's crazy.
Crazy. Like I might throw some money on that.
That's extremely solid value for Clayton Kershaw.
Like I might throw $10 on that.
Why not? Why not? Yeah, we'll jump. I mean, we'll keep going here. MVP. Start with the AL. I actually don't think it's crazy for me to say this. I'm gonna stick with what I said before. I think Garrett Cole wins everything. I really think this is a big year for him. We've seen it before with pitchers winning both. I think Kershaw might have done it once, and I think Verlander did it. I think we're in that discussion. So there's no one in the AL to me that's overly dominant. Like I can maybe sprinkle in a contract year, potentially Carlos Correa, where he'll need to go off to get that money. You could talk me in if the Indians are good to a Jose Ramirez type deal. You could talk me into a bunch of different things. That's fine. I'm gonna say Cole. I think he's just dominant, so I'll stick with what I feel.
I mean, is it Mike Trout? Do we just say it's Mike Trout? I don't know.
That's a fair. That's a fair.
I don't know. Do we just like?
Yeah.
I don't want to say Mike Trout though because I don't think his team is good, and I know that's the weird thing with the MVP award.
Yeah.
The MVP award is not about the best player. It's about the player that was the most. It's literally the player that was most valuable to their team. If you took them off their team,
yeah.
Like the problem is the rest of the Angels suck. So if you take Mike Trout off the Angels, they're still going to miss the playoffs, whether they have Mike Trout or not. That's how bad they are.
Well, that's the thing though. Let's just say Trout has that miracle year like he's had, like he's just Trout. He does what he does, and they win 84 games. You would think he's got to win it, right? You don't think?
I don't think you can give it to him unless they make the playoffs.
Fair enough.
Because if they make the playoffs, it's because they have Mike Trout. Yes, obviously a lot had to happen for them to get to that point, but that's where it becomes the situation where you take Mike Trout off the Angels, they don't make the playoffs.
So you're
You
going
take
Jose
Garrett
Altuve.
Cole. You take Garrett. You can't do that for a player that's team doesn't make the playoffs. It's more about what players are propelling a team, like the Yankees, like the White Sox, like if the Twins make a run. If the Blue Jays go off, then is it Bo Bichette? Is it Vlad Guerrero Jr.? You could go down the list.
Fair enough.
I really think Glaber has an out of this world year, like I said, and I'm going to stick with that as the MVP award. Not that if you take Glaber off the Yankees, they're still going to win that division. You could take Glaber and Aaron Judge off that team, and they're still going to win that division. It's because I feel like he's going to have a special year and be in the middle of that lineup and really solidify himself as a top 5 to 10 player in baseball. And his team's going to win a lot of games. So,
fair enough.
Mix that all together, you have your MVP.
Fair enough. For NL, jumping quick. I'm going to be a little out of the box here, but I think they're going to be in the mix of a second wild card spot, so I'll give them a chance with him. Part of me would love to say a Lindor, because I think if he's not signed yet, he could still have something to prove. But I'm not going to go that deep. I'm going to say Juan Soto. I think if the Nationals can be in that 86, 85 game window, he's a special talent. I think he's a super special talent in a full season. His splits down the stretch last year were, if you really break down his finish of the season, he was almost more impressive than Tatis. So I'm going to say Juan Soto. I think he has a special year. I think to me, it's between him and Ronald Acuna. That's what I kind of think. So I'll say Soto. I think he goes off. I'll say Soto. I'll go.
I think we're forgetting about one guy who seems to have, I guess because he's on a team with a lot of great players.
Mookie Betts.
Yeah. I think Mookie is
fair enough.
Another guy who's going to have, it could be like a 40-40 type season. I don't know.
Yeah,
not that he's an overly aggressive base stealer, but something crazy like that I think could happen. And while they have Cody Bellinger and they have Corey Seager and they have Max Muncy and Gavin Lux and a lot of guys in the middle of that lineup with a lot of pop, you can't, when you're talking about being up to the task on teams that are great so that they become transcendent, is where we're talking about Mookie Betts. That's where the conversation between MVP awards for someone like Mookie Betts versus Mike Trout differs.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't begrudge that pick. I think Mookie Betts has that type of ability.
So
staying with the Dodgers, we'll jump into our next thing, which is our season predictions. We'll start with the NLCS because we're just about the Dodgers. I'm a little, I don't know here. I'm gonna say Dodgers are one of my teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to not be clouded here. I will say Dodgers, Braves. I think the Braves are still a little better than the Mets, but it really depends on that pitching. If the Mets are going to hit, there's no doubt about that. If the Mets can pitch 1 through 5 the way some people may speculate, if Syndergaard can come back and be a force, I think that really changes this team. But I'll say they fall short. I will say Dodgers, Braves.
So what's the playoff bracket here? First off, have we gotten clarification on the playoff?
It's the same as last year.
They're going 8 teams.
You keep talking, I'll make sure, but I think I read that. Let's see. MLB playoff structure. Oh, wait. Incorrect. MLB opted not to go with the expanded postseason, so it's back to normal.
So we're going with the one wild card game.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm going to read this whole thing for you. MLB is going back to the new wild card format in which 2 teams from each league play in a wild card game with the winner moving on. Oh, so it's the same. It's the same as it was before.
In 2019.
Yeah, so it's 5 teams from each.
Okay, so that leaves us
back to
playoff-wise, it's Dodgers, Cardinals, Braves, and then Padres, Mets.
Yeah.
So Padres, Mets in a wild card game.
DeGrom, Snell.
Versus Snell or Yu Darvish or both.
Yeah.
That's like.
My question for you: does it change? Not to not talk about that kind of situation, but does it change who's going to go to the NLCS depending on who wins that game?
Probably not.
Because you're going to see, then you would see most likely Dodgers versus the winner of that game, and the Braves
and
versus
then Braves Cardinals. Yeah. Braves, I think, annihilate the Cardinals.
And I think Dodgers. I think Dodgers beat the other one.
Yeah. So
I think Mets would have a better shot if they lined up with the Braves, just because of playing them often familiarity. So yeah.
Or if they won that division, obviously, and then got the 100%. Cardinals.
100%. So Dodgers Braves for you too?
Yeah, Dodgers Braves. Yeah. I guess Dodgers I feel like that's a dogfight. I really do. But
Braves
Dodgers,
were close last year.
Braves are obviously a great team. Dodgers are like an all-time great team. I think Dodgers in 7 though. Braves will give a run.
I'm tough here because Braves were super close last year, and I feel like I could see them if they're in it making
Braves
a nice
deadline,
but making a nice with the prospects they have, making a nice move at the deadline for another starter. I think that would be their play.
Do they need that though? They have Max Fried.
No, they do. They have so
Anderson,
many young guys.
Soroka.
But they can use a horse.
Lights out. Charlie Morton.
But they can use
Max Fried is a horse.
They can use a number 1 though. I think they're all number 2s. I think they have a bunch of number 2s.
All of those guys have number 1 stuff. I really do.
But with all that being said,
that's like the Braves of like the early 90s when it was Maddox, Tom Glavine.
I'm taking the Braves.
Who was the third? I forget.
Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz.
Right, Smoltz. Of course.
I'm going to take the Braves in 7.
Wow.
I think close last year. I think that means something because they have familiarity with them. I think they could beat them. They showed it last year. Yeah, I'm going to say the Braves, and that's basically hinging on the starting pitching for the Braves getting right one way or the other, whether it's the guys in-house or one guy out of house. It's about the starting pitching getting right. If they do, I think they win it. So I'm going to say Braves in 7. Going to ALS. So ALCS, not ALS. That's Lou Gehrig disease. God bless. ALCS to me.
Podcast, Lou Gehrig.
Friend of the podcast, Lou Gehrig. For me, you're going to disagree, and I know it. I'm saying Yankees, Astros. I don't think the rest of the AL is that good.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I don't think the rest of the AL. I can't see anybody else shooting up. I think the White Sox are still close, but not there. I think they'll lose to the Astros, which will be a hell of a series.
A's will wilt in the playoffs if they make it.
Yep.
And then the Blue Jays, we know the deal that they're not experienced if they end up, or the Rays. The Rays, obviously, you can't bet against in a 1-game situation if they end up making it.
And I'm just gonna I'm gonna finish up the situation. I'm gonna say we're both Yankees Astros, but I'm gonna say this is one of those years where Yankees are a much better team than the Astros. I'm gonna say Yankees in 5. Yankees in no, I wasn't going there. Yankees in 5. I think this is that situation where the Yankees are the class of the American League this year, and they kind of take the Astros and kind of beat the shit out of them for all the issues in the past. So
I
I'm going to
would.
say
I
Yankees
would
in 5.
that. I'm
gonna say
going to go
Yankees in 5.
Yankees. Yankees in 6. Same
So
ALCS.
I have Braves, Yankees, World Series.
I have
You have
Yankees, Dodgers.
I'll start it. Kind of, you're going to need another second to think because you're basically. I know your brain. You're going off. Listen, you think in your brain, and you're not false. The Yankees can beat the Dodgers, but you're also not trying to be clouded by your fandom. So I'm gonna say, I'm doing it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yankees in 6.
No!
Yankees in 6.
No! No! The Mickey Mush.
I think it's easier for me to say Yankees in
No!
6 against the Braves than it is for you to say Yankees against the Dodgers.
Yes. Yeah.
Yankees in 6. Yankees are the World Series champions.
I mean, you think of the pitching depth that the Dodgers have. We can rattle off the list. Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, Urias, um, Bauer, obviously, David Price. Producer Bob says the Padres, by the way,
Yeah,
which is
producer Bob is drunk.
ridiculous.
He is
Producer
drunk.
Bob needs to come on right now. Call him.
He woke up an hour ago.
Call
He
him.
woke up. I'm not
We're
calling.
interrupting my analysis to call him. You need to call him. We need to
Finish
hear
your
that
thought.
on the
Finish.
record, on the live show. We need to
Finish.
hear him say,
Finish your thought.
like,
You know you
I
want to.
don't want to bet against the Yankees and have it on the record that I said the Yankees would lose the World Series to the Dodgers.
Can't do that. That's bad energy.
I can't. So let's play this out. Game 1 is
Okay.
Kershaw Cole, I guess.
Me. Sure.
And that's happening at Dodger Stadium. Kershaw has
Yeah.
has the jitters, let's say. Garrett Cole is a playoff monster.
You steal game 1.
Yankees steal game 1. Fine.
Dodgers take game 2.
Yeah, because who the hell is pitching game 2 for the Yankees? Is Severino back by then? Is he fully healthy?
Game 3 goes to a bullpen game.
Kluber for 2 innings, 3 innings.
Yeah. It gets weird. It gets high scoring.
Yeah.
Like 8-7.
Yankees win that game.
Yes. They go back to they would 3.
It's 2-3-2.
That would be the first game in New York.
Yeah,
that would be the first game in New York. So 2-1 Yankees. Dodgers tie it back up.
Game 4. Who are the Yankees starting here?
You could see Cole at that point. You could see Cole.
No.
They can go 1. Yeah, they can go 1-4-7.
Cole would be 5, I would think.
No, 1-4-7.
I guess if there's a travel day, I guess.
Yeah.
In between 2 and 3.
The season's on the line. If Cole can pitch, he's pitching.
Fine. Cole game 4.
So let's just say
Yankees. I guess the Yankees are up 3-1 at that point.
Yeah, and then Dodgers, to me, would at least force a game 6. Probably a game 7.
Because game 6, you're throwing out. Because game 5, Cole. The Dodgers aren't going to throw out Kershaw or somebody. It doesn't really matter because
I think
Kershaw, Buehler, Price,
Bauer.
Who they threw out. So say they threw out Bauer
I
in
think
game 5.
I think their history in the playoffs and winning a World Series, I think they would force a game 6 if they threw 56-year-old Tom Glavine out there. Like I just think they would force a game 6 no matter what in that situation, personally.
Yeah.
At least game 6.
So-
I don't know necessarily about game 7. Like, I have the Yankees winning in 6, but I think a
And
6
then-
would at least be forced.
Game 6 is, I don't know, again.
You're
deep
probably
row.
looking at Kluber again.
Tyone doesn't
Yeah.
make the playoff rotation, most likely. You're relying on hopefully a healthy Severino, Kluber, and obviously Garrett Cole is your horse. And then a mix of Herman out of the pen.
I would.
I guess. So then game 6 is probably a crapshoot for the Yankees. And then you're throwing the kitchen sink game 7 where it's Cole, I guess
Whoever's left.
Herman, Severino could pitch an inning or two. Obviously you have the horses
Chad
in
Green.
the pen that shorten the game, like Shad can throw 2 innings. I guess the Yankees win at 7. I feel like I have to say it. I have to stick to my guns.
So we both have the Yankees winning. Me in 6, you in
Wow,
7.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
This is great. This is a great omen. I'm so excited. I'm throwing bets.
Oh boy.
It's the Yankees. So tomorrow's opening day. Tomorrow, we have to do our betting tips.
Oh right. Betting picks. Wow, this has been an episode.
Yeah, a lot going on. I knew it was going to be because we missed 1 week. That was my fault in my scheduling.
It's okay. We're busy guys.
So I'll basically go through some lines for tomorrow, and then we'll give some picks out. Blue Jays, Yankees. Yankees are minus 180. Blue Jays plus 152. As you know, if you bet baseball before, it is always plus 1.5, minus 1.5. It's not like other sports, and you'll get different numbers on those 1.5s than other sports. So keep an eye on that. Indians, Tigers. We have Indians minus 194. Tigers plus 162. Orioles, Red Sox. One of the highest over/under games tomorrow. Not the highest, but one of the 9.5. Orioles are plus 136. Red Sox are favored at 162. I like, and you'll see this with my picks. I like unders on opening day. I like opening day unders, especially I think 50% of the country is going to be dealing with some sort of messy weather, whether it's rain or clouds or whatever.
I took the over in the Yankees game.
I see. Yeah, I agree. We'll talk later, but yes. So yeah, keep going. Twins Twins and Brewers are a weird one. Both teams technically favorited. They're both in the red, I would say. So minus 112 for the Twins, minus 104 for the Brewers. Technically, Twins are favorited if you want to call it that. Pirates, Cubs minus 220, and there is no 1.5 line, which means they are expecting the Cubs to blow out the Pirates. Pirates plus 184. Braves, Phillies, very split matchup, minus 106 versus minus 110. Braves being the underdog there technically. Dodgers, Rockies. Dodgers minus 230, Rockies plus 190. That is the highest over/under game of the day. That's 11. Cardinals, Reds, Flaherty versus Castillo, plus 102 for the Cardinals.
That'll be fun.
That's at 411. That's one of the midday games. It's a fun one. Next game, Tampa, Miami. Tampa throwing Tyler Glasnow out there, minus 148. Marlins plus 126. Rangers, Royals. Kyle Gibson, Brad Keller. Rangers are underdogs at plus 148. Royals pretty healthy favorites at minus 176. Then we got the 7 o'clock games. The only 7 o'clock game. Mets, Nationals. DeGrom versus Scherzer, the only 7 o'clock game, which is fun. All eyes will be on it. Minus 158 versus plus 134. Mets being favored. DeGrom being favorited. Next game, 10:06 game. Another good little matchup here. White Sox, Angels. It's Lucas Giolito versus Dylan Bundy. White Sox are technically favored at minus 116. Angels minus 102. So kind of a toss-up game for them. And then 2 more games. Astros Athletics is Zach Greinke versus Chris Bassett, minus 110 for the Astros, technically favorited, versus minus 106 Athletics. So another toss-up. Now, this one, last game of the night, is a literal toss-up. Giants versus Mariners, Kevin Gausman versus Marco Gonzalez. It's minus 108 for both teams. Minus 108 for both teams. It's literally split down the middle. So those are the lines for the opening day stuff. I
haven't placed any bets yet. If I had to build a card, go.
Yeah, so my card so far, what I have, and it will. So for the record, keep an eye on my Twitter. I'll post them out tomorrow. And Barlotta DSN, and Barlotta _ DSN. Excuse me. I will post them out tomorrow.
We'll post our picks on the bump.
Yeah, I have my early game so far. I like up until like 3 o'clock. I think I'm in bets. I have Yankees minus 1.5. I think they could beat the shit out of the Blue Jays tomorrow. I have Brewers money line. I think they're going to take out the Twins. I have the over in the Tigers Indians. Excuse me. The under in Tigers Indians, under 7.5. I like that under a lot. And then I have the Orioles versus the Red Sox. I have the Orioles plus 1.5. I think they can keep it close enough in that game. I think a high scoring game. I think 6-5, 7-6, something along those lines. So I like the Orioles to cover that 1.5. So again, I'll have more games like the Mets. I'm sure I'll put a bet on. And the late night games, I'll do something, but I haven't figured this out yet. But this is what I figured out for my card.
Yeah, initial thoughts for me. I like the Angels money line, kind of West Coast game there. Young team. Dylan Bundy has good stuff. I think he'll come out firing. I like the Mets and the under. I feel like there's good value in the Marlins with Alcantara starting, and it's opening day. I could see myself taking the money line there. Under in Reds, Cardinals, that's going to be a duel. We're taking pictures. What are we taking pictures of?
You'll see in a second in the group chat.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't of the camera. It wasn't of the laptop. It was above the laptop.
Oh, boy. What else do I like here? And then same game parlay-wise, I'm going to take, because there's a special on FanDuel. Maybe we'll get some sort of code, something
shout out
from
FanDuel.
FanDuel. Yeah, shout out FanDuel. I think my card there was, I don't remember off the top of my head. It was
I have it here.
Over. Oh.
Yankees, right? Yankees one? Yeah, I got it. So it's Garrett Cole over 8.5 Ks. Stan to hit a home run. Yankees minus 1.5 and over 7.5.
Yep, we're going big.
Yeah, I'll make my same game parlay too. It probably end up being on the Mets game. Right now there's no props up for the Mets, so I'm sure we'll. Oh my God! Breaking news! Breaking fucking news of the podcast. New York Mets extend Lindor 10 years, $341 million, and Nick Barlotta is happy. We have breaking news on the podcast.
3 what?
341 million, so 34.1 per year.
41. Interesting.
It has to be somebody else's deal that it's jumping, right? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
You're low, very low.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. You're good.
Okay, interesting. Is it an homage to Tommy Seaver?
That's what I was thinking too. Yo, I knew this deal was going to happen. I am so pumped. There's no more Black Cloud
on the pod.
Also, Frank the Tank from Barstool. Enough of you. Tired of you.
Wow.
Sorry, Frank. I don't mean it, but I do mean it.
Heel on Frank.
I'm gonna look up real quick the top AAV for shortstops, and I'm gonna see if there's like a exact number why that number is the way it is.
It hasn't come across on the MLB Network yet.
Oh, okay. So there is an exact reason. Fernando Tatis's contract was worth $340 million. They gave Lindor $1 more million than Tatis.
Wow.
I mean, So Tatis's contract's over 14 years, which is different. But the total is making Lindor the highest paid shortstop in baseball by total. By AAV, I think that by AAV that also makes him the highest paid, but by a lot. But he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. So
Wow.
I am so happy the Mets have done this.
Mets got their guy.
Now we could play baseball. Play freaking
That's
ball.
right, folks.
Let's go.
Play ball. Let's do it.
No opt-outs in the contract. A straight 10-year deal. Why are you playing the Yankees though? The Mets?
We'll play.
I got something.
No, we got it.
This is old school here. WFA.
I got one.
I got the whole one. Here we go. Wait, maybe not. I don't have anything. This is a big breaking news of the podcast. I mean, this is. Here you go.
If Shakespeare said the play's the thing,
no, this is not what I want.
Certainly to a baseball.
Shout out Howie Rose though. Shout out Howie Rose. But
and so, whereas
I had one.
Francisco Lindor for 10 years. Dude, I'm going to be 36 years old when Francisco Lindor's contract
Let's not play the math on this.
36 years old, and Francisco Lindor will be playing his final year as a New York Met. Wow. Little Billy Joel to end the podcast. I mean, I feel like we should just let Billy Joel end the podcast. He should play us out. Just a big night here on the On the Bum podcast. Thank you for joining us, as always.
9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Todd's gonna sing us out. You know what, Todd? Sing us out.
Shuffles in.
Sing us out, Todd.
There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic engine.
Todd's gonna sing us out. Hold on, real quick, before Todd fully sings us out here. I have an issue with this.
I don't need to sing us out. Don't worry. I got it out of my system.
So what bothers me is someone like Jeff Passan.
Oh no!
Who an hour ago, 53 minutes ago, tweeted, "Hours melt away. The Mets and Lindor are no closer to a contract extension. No new discussions. No workshopping proposals." Then tweets when the deal comes through. Wrote earlier today that there was a sweet spot to be reached, and the Mets and Lindor worked on the deal up until the final hour. So, Jeff, I have a question. You probably won't listen.
Jeff.
What the hell are you talking about? Because you just said two different things in two different sentences about the same situation. So, shout out to whoever got this deal right, which I think the first one was actually John Heyman. But technically Jeff Passan was the first one, to be honest with you. But he doesn't deserve the credit because he literally said it wasn't happening. So the deal's done. $341 million. He is the highest paid player. Shortstop, I think he might be one of the highest paid players in the league now too. He's got to be close. Highest paid AAV. That makes him the second highest, right under Trout. Just kidding. That's so false. He is now fourth highest. You have Garrett Cole, Mike Trout, Steven Strasburg, Bauer. That's another thing. So he's going to end up being slightly above Trevor Bauer. Maybe that was part of it too. But yeah. So high-paid baseball player. The New York Mets are back. We are back.
Baseball's back. We are back.
Opening day tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining us. Another great episode of the On the Bum podcast. Check out our Twitter tomorrow for our picks.
We will post on Spotify. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I'll find a way.
If you need to get me to post it, I'm happy to do it.
I'll find a way. Also, if there's anybody out there who's listening that just likes doing sound editing and wants to do it on the side for us, well,
Graphic design too.
like something. There is room to grow on the bump team. Come join us. It'll be an internship.
Yeah,
And you can write on your resume.
sure. Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week for basically the week one wrap up of the MLB podcast. The
We'll
days
talk a
might,
little on our fantasy team performances too,
of
based on
course,
that.
the recording date could fluctuate just based on work schedules,
Of course.
but we should have more clarity next week, so I'll be able to figure out a definitive day that we could do it. The perfect situation to me is doing it on like a Sunday, Monday to kind of wrap up the week. But we'll figure out the best case scenario and we will let you guys know. So thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Enjoy your opening day. Enjoy your hot dogs.
Let's go.
Let's go, Mets.